What's good, Black Tea fam? Welcome back to the channel where we keep it real, raw, and relevant. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for many of us, and that's the often subtle, sometimes glaring, signs that your partner might actually hate you. Not just dislike, but straight up hate. Now, this isn't about playing the victim or looking for drama. It's about recognizing patterns, protecting your peace, and making sure you're in relationships that are actually serving you. We've all been there with those rose-tinted glasses on, maybe ignoring the little things that, when you look back, scream red flag. So let's get into it.
There's a video on here where a creator is explaining the easiest way to tell if your man hates you is if he ruins your birthday. And that video triggered me because it's true. Like with my ex-husband, every year without fail, on my birthday, he would find a reason to argue with me. Like, I've had so many birthdays with him to where I just spent the day in bed just feeling shattered, crying, just feeling shitty about myself. And there was this one year before we broke up, I wanted to see if he was really ruining my birthday on purpose, because I was just thinking, like, I actually told him, I was like, I feel like every year something happens on my birthday, because it's just like, why is it a coincidence? And so that was before my birthday. So my birthday comes around, we had these plans, everything was set in motion. And so we get in the car the day of my birthday. We start pulling out the garage, and lo and behold, we didn't even pull out the parking lot yet. He starts arguing with me, and I just remember it was something very petty, and I really wasn't trying to feed into the argument. And the guy starts punching on stuff in the car. He explodes. And all I remember is that the argument was something petty. It wasn't even anything big, but his actions were crazy, as if something major had happened. But then that solidified my suspicions that he was indeed messing my birthday up on purpose. He was doing it on purpose. And for that creator to say, that's a way to tell that your man hates you, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Why? I just never understood why he would hate me. It's like, why?
Let's talk about the when your boyfriend starts to hate you trend I've been seeing on here lately. If you've ever been in a long-term relationship, you may have experienced the feeling when you sense that your boyfriend just hates you, or maybe you start hating your boyfriend. And yes, of course, relationships change over time, but I swear it's the little things that matter the most. It's all in the fine details, because I have been in this position myself where I have overstayed a long-term relationship way past its expiration date. So I can quickly sense it in other couples, and it's usually a ticking time bomb. It's like the kiss of death. The honeymoon phase is gone, and then you realize you guys aren't even friends. It's like you both just start to get on each other for the littlest things, and you're usually only still together because it's easier than just breaking up. I saw one girl on here talk about her experience, and I can't remember the original creator, I'm so sorry, but she said she knew that it was over when her boyfriend stopped letting her put her cold toes on him. And it is always those little details. You stop cuddling on the couch. You argue about what to watch on TV. You might stop sleeping together, or it turns into more of like a chore. And you both know exactly what to do or say to get under that person's skin. Long-term relationships are rarely as happy as you think, because most couples never experience just being friends first. So they have no idea what to expect once the love and passion fades, and that is like a make or break part in a relationship, because most people are together for the wrong reasons. They just don't know it. Like, you're dating someone because they make you feel good, or because you make them feel good, but on paper, do you guys make sense being together? Do you have things in common? Do you have shared interests besides just being attracted to each other? These couples will realize they have nothing in common, so there's no solid foundation to fall back on, and then they are stuck just wasting each other's time. Meanwhile, one of them, or even both of them, have already emotionally checked out of their relationship. And usually this stage is where cheating is more likely to happen if you don't break up or you don't communicate exactly what's going on and try to fix it. So if you're at the point in your relationship where you're sensing that things are dead or they're feeling hopeless and there's no love there anymore, you need to be honest with yourself. Is it fixable? Do you even want to fix it? I think a lot of times it's easier to just start over with someone new, especially if you are lucky enough to not be tied to this person through marriage or having kids together. Consider yourself lucky if you aren't tied to someone with those type of things and you're feeling this way. If it feels like nothing you guys are doing is making it work, get out as early as possible, because the longer you are together, the harder it's going to be to break up eventually. And no, progressing the relationship to the next level, whatever that may be, is not going to fix things. It will only make things worse. Trust me. Y'all got to stop lying to yourselves because you are breaking your own heart.
This comment really triggered me because one time I was seeing this guy and he used to always like bring me food. We either used to go out to eat or he would bring food to my house. It got to a point where he was bringing like kitchen appliances to my home. I don't really cook. And would make food for me and like alcoholic beverages and like stuff like that. And he was really nice. Like I was into him. It was great. It was a great time. But one day I jokingly was like, why do you bring all this food? Oh my God, I'm gonna start gaining weight. And he was like, that's the plan. And I was like, ha ha ha, what? And he said, I'm trying to fatten you up so no other guy will look at you.
If a man is critical, he's insecure. If he tries to make you feel dumb, he feels dumb. If he puts you down about your weight, he feels bad about his weight, or he's scared he's going to be judged about his appearance. Whatever he's trying to make you feel insecure about, that is the very thing he feels the most insecure about. And he's afraid to death of being found out about. He's trying to make sure you are always feeling just a little bit less than him. You want to find a great man who treats you really well? Find a man who lifts you up. Find a man who always believes in you. Find a man who's loving to you no matter what. Enjoy the man who laughs with you, not at you, or ever at your expense. See, there's one thing I can tell you for sure, is that a man who loves you will always make you feel good. Now, is he imperfect? Is he going to make mistakes? Of course he is. But if you bring those mistakes to his attention, they will break his heart and he will hurt because he's hurt you, and he will never intentionally hurt you again, ever, period.
When this man tried to downplay my motherfucking master's degree, that shit turned me off all the fucking way. He was talking about something, and I had said something about, while I'm talking to you, Y-O-U. He said, oh, I'm surprised you can spell. I said, well, damn, don't drop dead, Fred, when you find out I can get my fucking master's. He said, oh, they must be giving it out to anybody. I said, if they give it out to anybody, then why don't you have one yet? He said, oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I'm not like you. I can't afford that. I said, well, clearly they're not giving it to any and every fucking body because it's not in everybody's tax bracket, correct? It's from what you saying. Like, I don't know about y'all, but playing with my motherfucking achievements, making it seem like what I'm achieving is fucking easy and everybody can fucking do it. No, I do not think everybody can get their master's in fucking biology. No, I do not think a lot of people know how to name and fucking draw amino acids. So I'm sorry if that's something I'm not gonna let you fucking play with me about. So the last thing I'm gonna let anybody do is play me about a motherfucking degree that you bitches couldn't even possibly spell. Okay? Okay. Just saying.
If a man refuses to compliment you, he hates you. But he hates you because he knows that you can do better than him. A man that believes you're out of his league will try to humble you. And I'm talking about men that go out of their way to not compliment you. Like, you've been on several dates with this guy, has never mentioned anything about your outfit, your makeup, never once called you beautiful. Maybe you're also sending pictures to him and he'll comment on anything other than your beauty. Yeah, that man is insecure and he will stop at nothing until you feel insecure. Do not entertain men who don't make you feel beautiful.
I found out that the boy that I was talking to hated my existence. Just like anybody else, there was the honeymoon phase. Of course, everything was good, everything was nice. And then the 2 to 3 week mark came. First of all, he will always bail on our plans. And when he bails on our plans, he will tell me at the lastest minute possible. Yes, I said last test. I need you people to understand. I'm already fully dressed, makeup done, hair done, looking nice, smelling good. And I'll get a call. I don't even get a call. I'm tripping. I have to reach out at the last second like, hey, like, what time are you going to be on the way? And then this is his response. Oh, we're not going no more. Oh, that's dead. You need to die. You're dead. Now, when he cancels, he doesn't try to make it up or even tell me the reason why he canceled. Number two, he never really initiated anything. And even if he initiates something, it will probably be to come to his house, which is, there's no problem with it. But like sometimes when he bails on me, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can come over and we can just chill, you know, on some chill-ish. Like, I don't require too much. Now that I think about it, maybe that was the plan because you don't want to spend money outside when you take me out. Yay. Another reason why I knew that he hated me is because he never really celebrated my successes for real, for real. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I leave? I will tell you exactly why. I want to tell you guys, this man was my type to the T. I'm talking to the T. My type. So he was honestly just giving eye candy. You know what I mean? Which is shallow, yes, I understand. But like the first few weeks we started talking, he was not acting like this at all. Let me tell you guys how we started. The first few weeks, I was his lock screen. We were going to sleep on the phone. Everything. I was love bomb. Oh, bomb me. But one lighter. Oh, bomb me. Oh, bomb me. Like this man became cold-hearted. I know some of you in the comments are probably going to be like, oh, but why did you leave from the beginning? Yo, he was never like that. Now, I'm not going to act like a saint. When he did piss me off and cancel our plans, I definitely made plans with somebody else the next day and I did not care. Because the canceling thing was back to back to back. Every single weekend he would cancel on me. I couldn't take it anymore. And then we ended up getting into an argument one day and he really opened his mouth to verbally tell me that he hates me. And then I was like, I knew it. Yeah, guys, that's really how I found out that the boy I was talking to hated me. I feel like I left out some more detail, but like, maybe when I find my journal, I'll be able to tell the story properly. But I was just like, let me just give you a little bit of tea. If you want to see more of this, go ahead and follow me. Yeah.
So I'm not sure if anybody else has experienced this, but I'm going to talk about it. And if you have, leave a comment. And I'm basically just going to talk about the moment that I realized that my now ex-husband didn't love me. So throughout the whole course of our 2.5-year relationship and 2-year marriage, I'm just a very affectionate person. I always have been. That's just who I am. And I know now that I love very deeply. And like, it really didn't matter who it was, I would have treated them that way anyways, because I would have loved them. Well, anyways, so for the entirety of our relationship, I was very affectionate with my words and like actions. So I just remember like when I would tell my ex why I loved him or how much I loved him, I would talk about like the things about him that I loved, you know what I mean? So like instead of I love your smile or I love your personality, it would be like, I love this specific thing about like the specific thing that you do and here's why I love it, and etc. etc. So like I was just always really good at that, like using my words to express like my feelings or my love for other people. And for a long time I just thought that like he wasn't, you know what I mean, like he didn't I'm saying you know what I mean a lot. I'll try to stop. But anyways, he wasn't very affectionate with like his words. He did do a lot of acts of service, I guess you can say. And then I guess that's how I justified in my head why I wasn't receiving the vocal affirmations that I was wanting. And I remember like kind of towards the end of our marriage that I asked him, actually, I was like, what do you love about me? Because whenever like we would get into a fight, he would do this thing, as a lot of toxic people do, instead of like apologizing to you face to face and then acknowledging what they did and why they're not going to do it again and the steps they're going to take to ensure that, he would instead write me little like handwritten letters or just like text messages, and in it it would basically say like the same like few things every single time, and I kind of caught that pattern because there were too many notes. And it was always along the lines of like, I love how much you love me. I love how you take care of me. And it was basically just like a list of things that I was doing that he loved. So it wasn't like necessarily me. He never like complimented things about like my essence, my soul, my vibe, the things that I'm passionate about. And like, I just remember thinking that one day, I'm like, wow, like I shower you with affection and affirmations. You only are able to write them to me. What's up?
I hurt my knee.
Oh, dang it. You're cute. And he wouldn't even do that the way that I wanted. So after about like 2 years of that behavior, when I sat down and I questioned, I was like, do you like love anything about me? Like, can you tell me things about me that you love, not things that I do for you? And he couldn't even answer that. And I just remember like feeling so defeated because I'm like, wow, he doesn't even really know me. Like he doesn't love the things about me that I would love about me. You know, he loves the things that I do for him, which is classic narcissistic behavior. They have to hold on to you because they know that no one else is going to treat them as good as you do, because you are the embodiment of love. That's such a common thing that I hear from like my exes, is they like when they would compare me to their exes, they would just tell me how much they loved how I was so much more affectionate than their other partner. And I used to think it was just because, like, you know, back in my not so very girl days, I used to think it was just because, you know, they were bitches and mean and like didn't know how to show love and et cetera, et cetera. And I know now maybe that wasn't the case, but it's just like, I just want someone to love me the way that I do. And I realized that he was never going to be able to do that. So yeah, I think it was like just after that moment I had that realization, and probably wasn't like very soon after when shit really hit the fan and we ended up apart.
There's a video going around of a woman saying that one of the ways to tell that your boyfriend or husband hates you is to see how he acts on your birthday. And I saw a creator that just said that she saw that and it triggered her. And like, you know, I've been triggered. And this is why. I was with this guy for 4 years, and he would always have just really big emotions and not, I guess, know how to handle his really big emotions, like anger. That's an emotion. Also an inability to name his emotions. Instead of naming emotions, for example, he would say, I'm mad and it's your fault. So I internalized that a lot as it continued to build up over 4 years. Like, it did not happen overnight. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, my relationship is great, like, I hope it is. And I bet it, like, I bet it is great. And also, like, still pay attention to some signs. I wish that I had, I wish that I had. So the story, for it to get into it, it was coming around to my birthday. He was like, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I just really want to be around trees for my birthday. And I really want this bike, this really specific bike. And if you want to help me pay for this bike, that would be really cool. Like, you don't have to, but like, that would be really cool. I just want to spend time with you and be around trees. And in no uncertain words, he was like, that's a stupid idea. He was like, how about instead we go to a winery in Napa? And so now it requires some context, because he previously, like months previously, he asked me if I wanted to go to Napa with him the following day for wine tasting. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a really cute plan. Amazing. And then it became a really intense fight on the way there. And then he was trying to tell me something that I did that was, I guess, my fault. And then him saying, I wanted to remember my uncle that had passed away. I wanted to remember him by going to Napa. And he was like, if I'm ever going to Napa and you're coming with me, it's never about you or us. It's always going to be about him. So like, okay, I get it. And I can make space for that. That's fine. Like, it was like, okay, good to know. I would have loved to understand what it meant to you before you invited me to go to Napa with you for wine tasting, thinking it was just going to be a cute thing for us. But like, it's okay. Like, amazing. Like, note it, in the future, it will be about your uncle. So the time comes around and he says to me around my birthday, he's like, how about we go to Napa for your birthday? And I was like, well, is that for you or is that for me? And he was like offended. He was like, of course it's for you. So I was like, and he was like, a vineyard is trees. So like it's still trees. And I was like, okay, like for the sake of not arguing and just like giving the man what he wanted, it was like, okay, fine, let's go to fucking Napa and go wine tasting for my birthday. You're trying to do something cute. Okay, let's make it a cute thing. So he books out this hotel that's like $700 a night, which is insane. And if you know me at all, you know that I don't really like that, need that. It's like, I'm not going to pay for it, really. Like, again, I wanted to be around trees for my birthday. That was literally it. Like, so he's like, okay, Napa. And this room that's $700. And because it's so expensive, they have complimentary wine at all times. Amazing. And he booked us this wine tasting for when we would arrive. So now it's morning before my birthday. We get up, we're on our way to the winery, and somehow we get into a fight on our way there, and he's quiet the whole way there. And then we pull in, and he's like acting mad at me or aggravated. I don't, like, none of it really makes sense because it wasn't really a fight. He just started being pissy, I guess. And we kind of like raced to the first winery, and we didn't eat anything. So now we were like racing into the winery with having not eaten anything to do like 4 different wine rooms back to back. The first one was cute. The first one was a good time. Our hostess was amazing. She and I like low-key became friends pretty quickly. And we were like, we're going to make plans to go see this play together and it's going to be great. And so she was awesome and it was fun to talk to her. And then we went to the second wine room and we had wine and it was fine. But again, like neither of us had eaten. And then the third wine room comes round, we drink wine, and then he goes to my car. I insisted on driving to Napa. It was like a 2-hour drive from where we lived because like I got a new car and I wanted to drive my new car. And so he goes back to my car and he knows that I don't like it when he like rolls like the green leaf. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on TikTok or not. In my car. And and I don't really know this. Like he's just like, I'm going back to your car for a quick smoke. I'll be back soon, and we'll go to the next wine room together. So I was like, okay, and I waited for him for a long time, and eventually, when he did come back, he showed up walking up the walkway with like his hand dripping in blood. Because while he was there at my car, he had grabbed a complimentary glass of wine on his way that he was drinking while smoking. And apparently he had picked it up so hard that it shattered in his hand. And now his hand was cut up from glass. And he just like rolled around and he's like, okay, let's go. And he's still dripping. And just like, okay, we need to clean you up. And I tried to clean him up there on the patio. And he was just like, he was drunk and he was just not cooperating. And he even alarmed the people that worked there at that winery. And so they came out to like with a first aid kit. They're like, are you okay? What can we do? He literally smacked one Band-Aid on it. And then he just like took off and he was like, let's go. And then I just like with my bottle of water, try to rinse off, the drops from the patio where people eat. And I'm just trying to not fight with him, right? And so we rock up to the last wine room and we're seated. And the guy comes, the host comes around and he notices my ex. And he was like, yo, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then he leaves. And then I'm like, actually, like, why don't you go, like, pop into the bathroom, go, like, rinse off, like, clean yourself up a bit. And he was like, what? Do you have a problem with brown people's blood? I don't know. I just don't know. And I was like, no, it's not sanitary. And he was like, what do you know about sanitary? He was just challenging me on everything and wouldn't go wash his hand. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to try to have a good time. And we finish up. We go back to my car. He didn't plan anything for dinner, of course. And I'm like, okay, I'm drunk. I'm starting to feel sick. Like, neither of us had eaten. So we're like, let's go back to my car and I'll figure out where I want to go for dinner. I was craving pasta. And we'll, get dinner and make a reservation for dinner. That I did. And I get back to my car and I kid you not, it was like the whole side of my car just covered in his, can I say blood on this? Anyway, it was covered in it. And I was just like trying to not freak out and I was being calm and collected because he was drunk. And long story short, we got into a massive fight over nothing that night where he ended up telling me what he really thought about me. And ended up telling me that if I didn't telling me that I was going to marry him. And when when I got married to him, I was going to change my last name to his last name. And I was like, we've talked about this. I have a PhD. I've worked hard for it. I'm not going to, I'm not going to change my name. And he was like, okay, then we're not getting married because like, I'll never believe that you actually have any skin in the game and I'll never trust you. And I was like, okay, I guess we're not going to get married then. And then and then just the whole fight that night was pretty awful. And it ended the following day. The relationship ended the following day after fighting all night. He was a proper ass that night. And then I tried to drive us home the next day and it got really dangerous. And I was just completely done by that point. He called me an effing C word. He called me a dumb B word. Like, no. We were long done by then. And since then, it's just been no contact. Like, no.
Stop normalizing your husband hating you. Stop it. I see a handful of videos every single day of women on this app and the other being silly, being goofy, being themselves, and their husbands having just fucking disdain for them. And it's visible. I can see it, you can see it, she can see it, and it's just this like, ha ha ha, my husband finds me so annoying. No. If my husband is not obsessed with me, 99% of the time, I won't have him. Your spouse should not openly dislike your personality. They should not openly be annoyed by you. Like, yes, am I annoyed by my husband sometimes? Sure. But 99% of the time, I look at that man like he is the most prized possession in the world. And I 1,000% expect him to look at me the same way. If you ever catch my husband on camera looking at me the way some of these husbands look at their wives, divorce. Divorce immediately. Stop normalizing your husband openly hating you.
He's nonchalant because he doesn't actually like you. He leaves you undelivered because he doesn't actually like you. There's a girl on his phone who never has to text him first, and he finally texts you when she doesn't text him back. He knows how you deserve to be treated, and he'd be doing it if he actually wanted you. He knows how to communicate consistently, and he'd be doing it if he wanted to talk to you. He's not taking you out on dates because he's already getting all the access he wants, so he feels no incentive to. And he's not coming back because he misses you. It's because he knows he'll still have access. And by the way, he'll keep losing respect for you. My love, this is your sign to move on from this man. Save this and listen on repeat. I love you and you deserve better.
How he treats you on your birthday is how he feels about you. Okay, let's get into it. Hi, my name's Gina DeBellis. I'm a retired sergeant from the New York City Police Department. I did 27 years in the police department. I've worked with thousands and thousands of men, and I've interviewed hundreds of more for a book that I'm writing and a website that I'm building. So when it comes to guys, I know what I'm talking about. So let's talk about your birthday and how it shows you how he really feels about you. So your birthday is that one day a year that's all about you. It's kind of like if you're a mom and it's Mother's Day, it's the same thing. Mother's Day is all about, your mom. So your birthday is your special day. It's all about you. And it's his chance and his opportunity to really do something special for you and something nice for you. Now, the guys that I've worked with, the ones that do really nice things for their wives on their birthday, I have to say these guys are great partners. They don't cheat on their wives. They do things around the house. They're always talking about going on vacation with their family and with their, with their girlfriends, and they're thoughtful. They call them. They're really good partners. But the guys that don't do anything for their wives, like nothing special for their birthday, or their girlfriends, nothing special for their birthday, they're nobody I would want to have a relationship with. They are inconsiderate, and they're selfish, and they're just not people you'd want to be in a relationship with. So when you're with your boyfriend and it's your birthday and he has nothing planned and there's no flowers at your house, or there's no, he's not showing up with a bouquet or with a beautiful gift, you're not the girl for him. The girl for him is the girl that he's planning the party for. The girl he's throwing, he's buying balloons for. The girl that he's going to do something grand, like that grand gesture. That is the girl. That's the girl for him. If you're the girl just getting like, hey, happy birthday, here's a card and a box of candy, or hey, happy birthday, I got you a necklace, and you could tell it's like a shitty kind of necklace or something like that. Let me tell you something. You're not the girl for him. You're the placeholder while he waits for the girl he's going to plan the party for. The girl he plans the party for. The girl he goes above and beyond for. The girl he makes feel special on her birthday, on her special day. That is the girl, and that is the relationship he wants. So just remember, how a guy treats you on your birthday is an overall indication of how your relationship is with him, how your life will be with him, that is like you are looking at like a picture of your life. So if he kind of doesn't go above and beyond for your birthday, he's never going to go above and beyond for you. If he's not doing something special for you, if he's not planning a party for you, if you are not the girl he is doing everything for, you are not the girl for him. So just remember, how he treats you on your birthday is a real indicator on how important you are to him. And it's also, your birthday is going to be a preview of what your life would be like with him. So just keep that in mind. Use your birthday as an indicator. Take care. If you have any questions, please reach out and contact. Happy dating, and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
I could not run fast enough to stitch this video. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if your partner does not treat your birthday like it is the most important day in the world, that is not it. Even if you are someone who hates birthdays, your partner should treat your birthday, in my personal opinion, like it is the best day in the world, because you were born. And of course, because they should feel so lucky to be dating you, and why not celebrate the day that you were born? Because if you weren't born, you wouldn't be together. So if you are dating someone that doesn't celebrate your birthday, forgets your birthday, just gets you a card with nothing else, no, we don't do that, besties. I'm not saying they have to go out and spend a ton of money, because there are absolutely ways to make your day feel so special without going out and doing these elaborate things. But if they do not treat your birthday like a national holiday, no, besties, dump them. We don't have time for that. When I tell you that my fiance and I have been together for 2 years, and the 2 birthdays that we've spent together, our birthdays are actually 10 days apart, he has made this day like the most magical day. And I'm going to show you some inserts. This is the cake that my fiance made for me for my birthday last year, and my fiance is not a baker. I'm a baker. It's a hobby of mine. If you look through some of my videos, I show fancy cakes. This man fucking made me an entire cheesecake. Look at how freaking impressive that is, ladies. If he wanted to, he would. Oh, and he made a practice cheesecake before the real cheesecake because he didn't want to mess it up. I also a waitress at night in the city, and the night before my birthday, my fiance stayed up until 2:30 in the morning. I told him I was going out with some friends to have a drink, and he wanted to be the first person to wish me happy birthday. So this man stayed up until I got home from work. Granted, he was sleeping on the couch, but when I got in the door, he like jumped up to sing me happy birthday at 2:30 in the morning. We go to bed at like 10 o'clock, had this whole table, flowers, balloons, everything, and this was just that. He had a whole day planned for me. So just your friendly reminder, if he wanted to, he would. And if he doesn't treat your birthday like a national holiday, ain't nobody got time for that.
If you are out walking somewhere with your man and he routinely doesn't wait for you, doesn't slow down, and always walks ahead of you, I can tell you from experience, that man hates your guts. Men are naturally just wired to be protectors, right? Well, I mean, they used to be. They all want princess treatment now. Anyway, so if he's quite happy to just pay you no mind and leave you in his dust every time you're out together, it says a lot. It says that he doesn't really care about your whereabouts, doesn't care about your safety. He's just not thinking about you or where you're at, or if you even made it across the street alive. You don't give a ras. And I mean, if he sees you struggling to keep up and he just carries on doing up track star anyway, listen. He wants you dead. Yeah, if your man has zero natural inclination to protect you and to look out for you just on a day-to-day, it's not looking good, bruv. I know it probably sounds kind of extreme to link the two things together, but honestly, what I have learned, when a guy doesn't really care, doesn't really like you that much, it will trickle down to so many different areas, even subconsciously. I mean, you probably wouldn't think where a guy chooses to walk could be an indicator of how he feels about you, but it really is. I used to date this guy who would always speed ahead and just leave me walking by myself. Tell me it was because I was too slow and I just needed to keep up. But when we would go out with his friends' girlfriends, he would happily hang back and walk with the girls who were struggling in their heels. He just did not rate me at all. Oh, also, him walking ahead of you all the time actually could mean that he's embarrassed to be seen with you in public. So he's trying to walk as far away from you as possible. So yeah, there's also that. Anyway, girl, let me know if a guy's ever done this to you or if you even knew it was a thing. And I'll call you back soon for some more girl chat.
So I had a friend whose boyfriend literally hated her, and for some reason she did not know. But I knew before she did, and here's how. So one night we went to the club, and I remember after the club was over, he had a section all the way on the other side of the club with his friends, and we had our own section. So we were like kind of on the opposite ends of the club, you know, no biggie. But he was all right there. So at the end of the club, we're leaving, and she's texting him, but I can see him from a distance get in his car and pull off. Me and him make eye contact. So we're texting him like, hey, where did you go? He said, hey, yeah, call a Uber. I have to make a business run real fast. Didn't say, hey, babe, I'm doing this. Didn't do any of that. And right there, then I knew. I said, he does not like you. She didn't believe me, stayed, and guess what happened? He moved a girl in on her.
A man who makes your life harder than it was before he walked into it probably hates you. There are no masculine men out there who want to make the lives of the women that they love harder than it needs to be. If he's abusive and talking down on you, he probably hates you. If he's a financial burden and plays video games all day.
I was scrolling through my FYP the other day and I came across a video about this and it just struck a nerve. There's a lot of content out there about how women are recognizing that the men they're with don't even like them. It's wild. And honestly, it's not always obvious when you're in the thick of it. The signs can be subtle, but trust me, they're there. We're going to be talking about a few of those signs, so listen up. The birthday betrayal. Let's start with a big one, your birthday. How he treats you on your birthday is a pretty good indication of how he feels about you overall. Is he excited to celebrate you, or does he find a way to make it about him? Does he ruin your birthday by starting fights or dismissing your plans? A creator on TikTok said that her ex-husband would find a reason to argue every year on her birthday and cause her to spend the day feeling bad. This is not a coincidence, it's a pattern and it's telling. If he's not making an effort to make you feel special on the one day of the year that's all about you, he's not the one. Your birthday is your day and your partner should be just as excited as you are to celebrate it. It shouldn't be an opportunity for him to create chaos. Some sources suggest that if he doesn't go above and beyond for you, you're not the girl for him. You are just a placeholder for the girl he will go all out for. The just joking sabotage. Another red flag is when he uses jokes to put you down or make you feel insecure. Maybe he's always making comments about your weight or your intelligence, disguising them as playful banter. For example, one woman was jokingly told that she was being fattened up by her partner so that no other man would look at her. These kinds of jokes often reveal his true feelings and insecurities. He might be trying to drag you down to his level. And listen, if he's not building you up, he's tearing you down. A man who loves you will always make you feel good. If he's always critical, it's because he's insecure. It's not just the big stuff, though. It's also the little things that can tell you a lot. The disappearing compliments. Is he refusing to compliment you even when you put in effort? A man who believes that you are out of his league will try to humble you. If he never mentions your outfit, your makeup, or your beauty, he might be trying to make you feel insecure. The achievement annihilator. Does he downplay your accomplishments or act jealous of your success? If he makes it seem like what you are achieving is easy, or says anyone could do it, it's a major sign that he is threatened by you. He should be celebrating you, not trying to diminish you. The constant cancel. Is he always bailing on plans at the last minute, especially after you've put in the effort to get ready? This shows a lack of respect for your time and feelings. He knows you put the effort in and still cancels. This could be a way of testing your boundaries, and he doesn't care about the impact of his actions. The cold shoulder? Have things cooled off? Maybe he was love bombing you at the beginning, but now he's distant. Does he no longer want to cuddle or get annoyed by little things? Relationships change, yes, but that change shouldn't mean a complete distancing. If the only thing binding you two together is the initial passion, it may be time to move on. Let's talk about some even more specific behaviors that point to deeper issues. The utility player, does he value what you do for him more than who you are? If he only cares about how you serve him, it's a sign of narcissistic traits. You're not an appliance, you are a person. And if you only feel like you are a placeholder in his life, you need to think about your next move. The contemptuous glare, does he have contempt for your fun or your personality? If you're being your free, jokey, goofy self and he gives you a contemptuous look, he doesn't like you. He wants you to be a certain way, and he is not accepting of who you actually are. The public avoidance. Is he always walking way ahead of you in public or seeming embarrassed to be seen with you? This is a huge sign of disrespect. He doesn't care about your safety or whereabouts, or he is embarrassed to be seen with you. Now, I know this is a lot to take in, but the goal here isn't to make you paranoid. It's about empowering you to recognize these patterns and make choices that are best for you. Don't normalize a man not being obsessed with you. Your spouse should not openly dislike you. Here's the thing, a lot of these behaviors stem from insecurity. If he's trying to make you feel less than him, it's because that's how he feels about himself. So, what do? Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Pay attention. Look for patterns, not just isolated incidents. Set boundaries. You deserve to be treated with respect and kindness. If he is not, then it is time to let him go. Don't stay because it's easy. It's often easier to stay than to leave, but you're worth more than being with someone who doesn't value you. Prioritize yourself. Choose a partner who lifts you up, not one who tears you down. You deserve someone who loves every part of you and doesn't try to make you shrink to fit their expectations. If they wouldn't be your friend if you weren't dating, it's time to leave. Prioritize yourself. Choose a partner who lifts you up, not one who tears you down. You deserve someone who loves every part of you and doesn't try to make you shrink to fit their expectations. If they wouldn't be your friend if you weren't dating, it's time to leave.